Let's go and try with another one. And again, this is the typical kind of thing that as an auditor you can pick up. I've had several cases where I've been dealing with financial institutions and we wanted to get reports and bring them in, and there was an interrogation package on the system which would produce a print report. So we could run that print report and then import it from that and then analyze it to see if we were still looking at what we thought we were looking at. So in this case, I'm going to go and pick up Dave's Bookstore 5. And here's an even more complicated one, because we've now got a book-related shipping report from that date to that date for that account, for that contact name, but we've got multiple lines of address, and we've got shippings with multiple shipping items. Now sometimes they're on the same date, and sometimes they're not, they're on different dates. So we need to be able to pick this whole thing up and try and analyze it. In this case it's not that bad because we've only got three items. We've got account 100, account 101 and account 102. But nevertheless, this could be 1,000 or it could be 10,000 items. So again, we need to define our anchor line. Okay, and our anchor line we're going to pick up this time. We're not going to define one, we're going to define those four, because that is multi-line. But it's not all Brown and Associates. That's a company name and that's an address. So our anchor line will just be the first line. And it's so easy to slip into that and say, oh, that's all one thing. No, it's not. That's one thing, that's a different thing. That's the name, that's the address. So we'll pick up the first line and create a standard layer. This time I'm going to identify it using, we're going to anchor it using ACC. That will pick up account 100, 101, etc. And that's all it's going to get picked up. Okay. So now we want to pick up the address. We'll pick up the name first. We'll pick up the account number. So the account number we know is 3 digits. We know that it's numeric, and we'll call it. And again, if I only show that once, it won't show up on that one, or that one. So I'm going to say there's the value from previous records. There's my contact name, the person who is my contact at the company. So we're going to call that contact. Its character, we're happy with that. Once again, it only appears once here, but I want it to show up on every line. And the company name is Brown and Associates, or whatever. And again, we'll call that Brown and Associates. We'll make that company. Character, if it's not the right length, we'll fix it later on when we do our edit. In this case, because there are only 3, we can see that there are 3 and they all fit within that, so we're happy with that. So that's going to be our basic layer. Next layer is going to be a 3 layer. And again, I need to have something that will identify this and will trap it. What am I going to use for trapping that? Well, I can trap it on the basis that we know that that says company. We know that that says that. We know that that's got something in it. So what we can do is we can trap for something in here. So let's trap for in there thing which is, I can't see numeric because that would only pick up the 100. I can't say text because that wouldn't pick up the 100. I can't say a space. So I could say anything except spaces. And you'll see what it's done. It's picked up all of these. Okay. So I'll throw that one away. It's not going to work. I need to get that in with this. So what I can do is I can go into my layer and edit the layer. I could try and pick these up, but they won't come up because I haven't already defined. What I'll do is I'll throw that layer away. And I can't throw it away from there. I have to go into the layer manager and delete the layer. So everything's gone. So what we should have done is picked up all four. Okay, so there's, again, I'm going to anchor it with ACC. There's my first one, which is going to be, which is going to be the account. Then we'll have the contact name. Again, it's character. I should perhaps have made it a little longer. We know the name of the company. But now I've got all of these. So now I can pick up address. And now I can tell it, that's the first line of the address. But now what I want to do is I want this as a multi-line. So I'm going to change that from no to yes. And it's now picked up all of these addresses. I can tell it I want to end the end the field when it comes to a blank, or I'm going to change it because I know that it's a specified line length and it's 3. So I'll increase that to 3, and that's picked up all of those. Okay, so now I'm happy with it. Now I can save my layer. Okay, are you happy so far? Okay, if you preview the data, if I go in and have a look at that and preview the database, you can see I'm getting the contact name, the company, and the address. And I'm getting all of the lines of the address. I'm not getting a contact name here because there is no contact name. Fair enough. So now I want to go on to the next line. And the next line is going to be this line here. I'm going to create a standard layer again. Again, I need to be able to identify that, so I'm looking for a field, and again, that slash, and that will highlight that one and those. So I'm happy. I've got the right fields. So I'll pick up the date, and this is going to be shipping date. Character, nope, it's a date. Mask, well, looking at it, that could be month, or month, day. What do we have further down? We have month, day. Fine. So I can put in month, slash, day, slash, year. Now I need to move on to the title of the book. And we're going to say that one is title. oops, title, is character, looks reasonable. Next one is amount. So we'll pick up the amount, and it probably will be slightly longer than that. So we'll call that amount. Okay, anyone spot what's wrong so far? That's correct. It's numeric, it's 2 decimal places. That one's correct. That one's not. Because at the moment, it's not going to repeat that date in there. So I need to say, use the value from the previous record. When I'm happy with that, then I can tick that there. Again, if I want to, I can look at that. I can preview the database as it is now. We've still got the account, the name, the address, etc. But now we've got the title and we've got the date. But we haven't got all of the titles. We've only got that title. So again, I want to use the value from the previous record. Anyone see the problem? Once again, these fields are multiple fields. So it's a multi-line. And you can see it's now picked all of those up. And again, I don't want to pick up coming down and picking that one up. So I can't end it on a blank line. I could end it on a defined field. There. Or I'm going to have to define the field. Or I can go for a specified length. Now in this case, because I know the length, I could say 3, but that isn't going to work very well. So what I need to move it to is I need to move it to something else, something other than that. And in that field, that is a blank line. That is not blank, but that's a blank line within that field. So if I'm happy with that, I can go in, because I'm not at the moment editing the thing, I can go in and edit that layer. There it is there. It's now going to say amount. I also need that to be a multi-line. Is it a single or is it a multi? That one's a multi-line. That one is saying it's a single line. If I take that as it stands and I look at the database now, I'm still only getting the 3, but I'm getting the 3 as one single file, one single field, which is not what I want. So I need to get that back out of there, edit the layer, because it shouldn't be a multi-line, although it's tempting to say it's a multi-line, it's a single line. That's one record. Okay. So what went wrong? That's what went wrong. I've anchored it, but I've anchored it on the date, and the date only appears in the first line. So it's not going to work if I do it on that. I'm going to have to shift that anchor and move it across to the decimal point, and wow, now we've got them all. Okay. Can you see the difference? If I take that out and I put it back on here, put in the slash, because I highlighted it on there, that's the only line it's going to pick up. But to get rid of that, all I have to do is take it off and put it on the right place. And now it will pick them all up. So now I can look at my, preview my database, and I can see countings, etc. Okay, so now if I look at my layer manager, I'm going to do and edit it. There's my title, and it's going to leave it as a single line. I don't need it to be a multi-line. I do need one extra. I need the telephone number. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up the telephone number. And I'm going to create another layer. And this time I'm going to identify it by telephone, because I know that only the telephone line has got that. And we'll pick up that, and we'll call it the telephone number. And once again, it would be handy to have the account company name up beside the account and the telephone number up beside the contact name, because that's who I'm going to be phoning. And if I say now, preview my database, there's my account, there's my company, etc. And if I import it into data, into idea, saving the template, and I'll call it Dave's Bookstore 5. Can we see the problem? We've only picked up those 3 titles. The first one, the second one, and the third one, because it picked it up from that initial setup, and it shouldn't have. What it should have done it should have picked them all up when I changed that definition. I want to open the template and pick up Dave's Bookstore. Okay, that line there edited, but it didn't edit cleanly. There's a problem I've come across in idea that when you do editing, it doesn't actually change the database necessarily. So your best bet with it is to go into that layer. Has it the right layer? Let's just be sure. We've got the right layer. It's not going to delete it. I'm going to the layer manager, pick up layer 2 and delete it. Now I can go back in and redefine it. Create a standard layer. I'm going to change that. It would be nice if it automatically picked it up, but we know that that's the date and that's the shipping date. And we know that it's a date field, and we know that the mask is month slash day slash 4 years. We can pick that up, we know that that is now, see it's picking them all up, is the title. We know it's character. We think we've got the right length. Amount, numeric, 2 places, etc. We should be happy if we tick it. And if I look at the previewing the database now, and it's still only showing us those individual books. Why is it only showing us those individual books? Because it doesn't like something in that layer. So I'll delete the layer again. Reason it doesn't like the layer, have I deleted it? No, I haven't. Delete. Reason it doesn't like the layer is when I picked that up and created a standard layer, that was fine. As soon as I put a dot in there, it treated that as one single field. I don't want that to be one single field. I want these to be individual fields. So how do I pick it up? Well, let's go back to the way we had it before with the slash there. We were picking up one line. When we picked that up, we said that was going to be date. It was going to be a date field, a month slash year slash day. Oops, I'll try that again. Day slash year. And we wanted to say on that one that, is it multi-line? No, but blank lines to use a previous value. That's going to be our title. And that's going to be our amount. And if we're happy with that, then we should be able to, validation errors. And if we now look at the preview in the database, it's still not allowing me to do it. So I am doing wrong. Once again, I've frozen it only on that line. It won't pick up that line. I need something that will identify those. So if I go into that, into my layer 2 and delete it, I still need to define this line. What am I going to trap? I'm going to trap for something over here. And if I trap on that, it's going to pick all of those up and define all of those. Then it's going to pick up that as a date. I actually thought I would do it this way in order so that you would do it without having a crib sheet at the side of you. Okay? Because it simply says define each layer, save each layer, preview it, and import. And that was done deliberately. Because this is typically what you're going to come across. Now that should have picked everything on all lines. So again, if I go into File and I preview my database, it's showing it like that. And it's only showing a single title. And I don't see why it's only showing a single title. So there's something I am doing wrong with this. And it's in that second layer. That's correct, it's showing the right thing. That is the title, and that's picking up all of these. That is that. And it's trapping it on the right thing. So why would it not pick it up? Save the layer. And let's try importing it straight in again. And we've got Bears Bookstore 5 in Bookstores 5.1, and it's still only showing the individual. Which has stumped me, I'm afraid. Close that down, let me close that down. Delete both of those. Let's do it the hard way. Go all the way back to square one. Import to idea. I'll bring in Dave's 5. And this time I'm going to do it without bringing in the template. So we'll start from square one again and pick up that lot. We're going to create that, and it's going to be ACC to identify the account line. That will be the account number. It's funny when you get used to it, how quickly you can do these. And it becomes no big deal to go back and do it again. Contact name. Company. Oops. We've got the address. And this time it's going to be multi-line. Yes. And it will be end it on a specified field length, and the field length is going to be 3. And we're happy with that. Now we'll go back and take up this line, creating our standard layer. And this line we're going to pick up based on that. And that's going to be our shipping date. And we know that it's a date field, still a date field, and it's still month / day / 4 years. still going to be our title. And the amount is still going to be the amount.
Richard?
Okay, so we're happy with that. We'll give that a tick. And if we look at the database, yeah.
Is it because the company is in the base layer, which never repeats? Could that be causing it? That's what Paul had suggested.
It shouldn't be.
So that shouldn't affect it. Okay.
Okay, let me try it. Let's go to view. Shouldn't. If we're going to layer manager, base layer, there's the company. Now if we want it to show in every line, it could be. Let's try it. We'll make it I don't want a blank line, sorry. Multi-line will be yes. To pick it up on it's not a multi-line. What I'm saying is blank line, use the value from the previous. Okay, let's have a look at that, see if that works. So what we actually need to do is go into edit the layer. And pick up the company. It's already using the value from the previous layer, from the previous record. Nope, still not there. Isn't that strange? Well, this is a new one on me. Isn't it strange that when you get a new one, it always happens on the course?
Of course.
Of course.
When things can go
All
wrong.
I can suggest, they do. All I can suggest is that let me go and have a look at it, and we'll pick it up on the next one. In the meantime, what I'll do is I will send you by email the solution to it so that you can send it on.
Okay, that's great.
Because otherwise I'm going to spin my wheels here and waste everyone's time.